Hello, welcome back to Fred in the Shed, and in this video and in a few future videos I'm going to be looking at these incredibly cheap little spy cameras that you can buy off eBay. These kind of hidden little sort of micro cameras that you're supposed to use as surveillance cameras. Now this one we've got in today is called an SQ11 mini cube camera. Basically it's a complete copy visually of the Polaroid Cube that's been out for a few years and it's been pretty successful. It's worth noting actually that I looked on Amazon and the Polaroid Cube has certainly dropped in purchasing cost. Certainly if you don't go for the Wi-Fi model, so if you just go for the one that uses the TF card that you have to view on a computer, you can pick it up quite reasonably on Amazon. The Wi-Fi model is still pretty much £80 to £100. So this is just a copy, a very cheap copy, and I've particularly gone for the cheapest type of spy cameras that I can find, because I'm really interested, can they really deliver the features that they claim? Now I'm going to be quite critical on these reviews, and I know I'll get some abuse in the comments. People are going to say, you know, Christ Fred, what do you expect for something that cost less than £5? If it works, you know, that's got to be a good thing, and that's true, and I'll probably in the summaries at the end of the videos I'll probably take that into account. But at the end of the day, you know, these people are selling these items on eBay, and yeah, they're claiming quite sort of high grade features. For example, this little mini cube camera we're looking at today claims to be able to record in a full 1080p video format, so that's 1920 by 1080p. Claims to be able to take 12 million, would you believe, 12 million pixel pictures, 4000 by 3000 pixels. Claims to have motion detection, so we'll certainly be testing that. Also claims to work in the dark, says it has some form of infrared illumination, or at least claims to be able to switch itself into an infrared night mode. So you know, we'll be testing that. So yeah, even though these things are really cheap, they are claiming to have quite sort of high-end sort of features. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at these cameras, absolute full test, and just see if they can really sort of live up to the expectations of the adverts. This is what you get from eBay. I mean, don't get a box or anything like that. I mean, you wouldn't expect it for less than sort of £4. And inside we've got the tiny little camera. I mean, let's be honest, it is very small. I imagine this is the same size as a Polaroid Cube camera, and you can sort of see that they're trying to emulate that. Has the sort of rainbow sort of Technicolor band that's going around the outside, but as you can see quite clearly, that's just a sticker which is already peeling off on my example, and yeah, there's not much holding it on. In fact, as that looks a bit silly, I think we're just going to pull that straight off. So yeah, I think we'll get rid of that straight away. So as I say, here's the camera itself. There's not much to it really. You've got two buttons on the top there, a on-off button, and I think that would be like a function button. There's a little sort of aperture there where there's a very small multicoloured LED light, which is supposed to sort of tell you the which mode the camera's in. I think that's going to be a little bit difficult. And on this side you've got a TF card slot. It does take memory card, of course. There's no Wi-Fi. This will not connect to your phone. You can't use your mobile phone to get a live image or record from this camera. You're going to have to use a TF card there and view it on a computer. And then we have a charging sort of port there. Comes with a mini USB charging lead and a little reset button. And yeah, that's about it. That's about all she wrote. Yeah, we'll be testing that in a second. Got obviously the charging lead. Interestingly, it comes with an AV out lead as well, but it is, as you can see, it's incredibly sort of short. So if you were intending to use this as a surveillance camera, you could connect to a separate monitor, but you would have to extend the cable. The camera also claims to be able to record whilst it's plugged into a charger, and that's quite useful if you were planning to use this as a surveillance camera. On the memory card there, so it will continuously record, a bit like a dash cam. And that's quite a useful feature. I mean, looking at the camera straight away, As I say, I am going to be a little bit critical here. You do have these array, if you like, of these which sort of look like they should be infrared LEDs. I don't know, I'm just looking at this, and to be honest, these just look like pieces of plastic. I think they're fake. I can't be sure until I test it, but to me they're not LEDs at all. So to me they're fake. So I say when it comes down to the night mode of this camera, it might just be an enhancing feature in the software that increases the sort of exposure. I certainly don't think they look fake to me. Firstly, straight into the instructions. Now, I know I kind of have a bugbear. If you follow the channel, you know that I'm a little bit kind of touchy about Chinese instructions, but these are particularly bad. These are bloody awful. Pidgin English, nothing really sort of makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, why, when they develop these things, they don't employ someone perhaps that has a little bit of insight into sort of, you know, the English language, and maybe just would go through this and sort of decipher it and sort of produce something that's at least legible. But yeah, so the instructions aren't particularly great, so I'm just going to have to sort of feel my way around the controls and sort of work out exactly what they do. Well, I've been playing with this, trying to get it to record in 1080p mode, and the instructions are so bad I've reverted back to YouTube, and I found a couple of really good tutorial videos. So yeah, big thumbs up to those guys that made those videos. And yeah, it appears that their camera does switch between 720 and 1080. All of the video that I've been able to record myself has been for 640 by 480 VGA mode. So I'm coming to the conclusion that I've been ripped off. Yeah, this SQ11 is a kind of rip-off of perhaps the genuine SQ11. Basically, once you're in the standby mode, if you press the mode button, it goes onto red, and that is supposed to switch the camera into 1080 mode from 720 to 1080. Switch it back, and it's supposed to go blue, which it has done. On this one though, if I switch that into the red mode and then I press the sort of start-stop button, instead of recording video, all it does is take a still photograph. So it doesn't record in the red mode. And as I say, all of the video that I can get out of this thing is basically 640 by 480. Also, the infrared array. Now, I've seen in another tutorial video how that you can hold the button down, you can switch this on, and you can actually see the guy's little infrareds glowing purple. I can't see that on my one. I can't get that to happen. So I think possibly these are fake. I'm probably going to end up taking this apart just to sort of reassure myself. But so it's looking like I've kind of been ripped off for my like £3.80 whatever I ended up paying for this. Yeah, I mean, a rip-off of a rip-off, quite incredible. So I say all I can get is 640 by 480. The motion detection device seems to work. I seem to sort of boot into that. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll do some sort of footage anyway to see what we get out of this sort of camera. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be a successful video. I think this is going to be a kind of like Fred gets one in the knacker sack kind of video. But anyway, we will push on with it.
Yeah, I suspect this is 640 by 480. I don't think this is anything like 720p. And just play a little bit with the dogs. I think the audio, from what I've heard, isn't too bad, considering it's so cheap. As I say, just, you know, the optical quality and the resolution is sort of very low. But anyway, I'm just going to do about 30 seconds of footage and I'll shut up and you can hear. Set the camera up and then I'm going to put the camera into motion detection mode, and then we'll get some motion in front of the camera and see if it starts recording. We are in the little dark room, as I like to call it. One of the first things that I've noticed when I've played back some of this video is how narrow the field of view is. It claimed to be 140 degrees on the advert. It is nowhere near that. I would say it's more like about 45 or 50 degrees. It's got a very narrow field of view. So what I'm going to do in a moment, I'm going to switch on the supposed infrared illumination LEDs on the array around the lens, and then I'm going to switch off the lights in here, and you should be able to see what's going on. I have a distinct impression you are going to see absolutely nothing, because this is a total rip-off camera. But anyway, this is going to be the next clip. We are in total darkness. Now, I did press the infrared illuminator button, and yeah, the LED flashed 2 times, which was an indication that the infrared light should be on. But I can't see a bloody thing, and I am pretty sure that you people can't see a bloody thing either. But yeah, I'm going to play this back on the computer, but I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't work.
So in conclusion, really, it's a pity, because I was going to do a full sort of review video on this. I did try the camera with it connected to a 5-volt power supply, and it just works like a webcam. It will stream back to your video on your computer, so you can use it as a webcam, or if you just put it into a 5-volt socket, it will just continually record video. It also cycles on the card. When it runs out of memory, it will cycle back onto the card itself. So it's possible that it could have been used as a proper sort of security surveillance camera. It's just that resolution that lets it down 640 by 480. Now, I think that if they had advertised that on eBay and sold it as a VGA camera, then yeah, so fair enough. It's only less than £4 delivered. What do you expect? What do you really expect? But it just sort of sticks in my throat, really, the fact that it's kind of missold, if you like, as a proper 1080p camera, and also the infrared illumination, which some of these have, as that picture I showed you from the YouTube video. Some of these have got proper infrared illumination. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to drag this video on any longer, because even my usual subscribers were getting bored. Over on my sister channel, Fred in the Shed 2, I'm going to break this apart and just have a look inside it, and just to confirm that these are not LEDs and connected some way to some circuitry. So yeah, what do you expect? Well, yeah, I kind of expected it to be as advertised, to be honest. I'm disappointed in that. I'm not disappointed for the money, because I've got a video out of it, and it records not bad, actually. I mean, I think the frame rate was quite good. It says 30 frames a second, and it probably is at 640 by 480. Yeah, I think it is 30 frames. The colours are a bit washed out, as you would sort of expect, but it's not disastrous. If it was just that little bit higher resolution, I'd accept 720p, but VGA nowadays, even on something that is so ridiculously cheap, well, there you go. So obviously this gets a Fred in the Shed thumbs down. Mis-selling, misinformation on the advert. Shame on the seller, really. And well, there you go. There are genuine versions of this around. I think you have to take a choice, or take a chance, really, for what you get. As I say, there are videos on YouTube where people have bought these just about the same price what I paid, perhaps a little bit more, and have got the genuine article. And of course, as I said, you can get the non-Wi-Fi version of the Polaroid Cube. I believe it's about £30 UK on Amazon, and that's really where you want to go, isn't it, if you want a genuine sort of item. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's, it's been a little bit interesting for my regular sort of subscribers. Not quite worked out as I wanted it to, but I'm not altogether surprised for so little money. But I have got some more of these very, very cheap surveillance cameras coming in, and yeah, there'll be other videos sort of coming up. And also, so switch over to Fred in the Shed 2. I will leave a link in this description. I'm going to now tear this apart, and we're going to have a look inside it. But as for now, I'd like to say cheers. As always, thanks for sticking with the video. Your view time is most welcome on Fred in the Shed. And yeah, stay safe, look after yourself, and of course, I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye now.